Happy Thursday, Janet Smith here of TalentSmiths. I think it's important that I come to you and I let you know that hiring has changed. As an HR and a recruitment professional, I need to let you know that hiring has changed and video interviewing will continue. TalentSmiths wants to help you navigate this season because it's different. It is like none other. Navigate this season of your current career, and we want to help educate you on how to navigate your career. We've been consistent in providing information and value to you every Thursday, right here on this platform or on our website as well. Now, right now is the time for professional development. Any time is the time for professional development. But if you have any type of downtime, if you're in a holding pattern, it's time for professional development. You should take the initiative to do what you can do in that regard. So you may ask yourself what you can do. What can I do? What can I do? What you can do is you can educate yourself. You can upskill. You can level up. You can grow your own knowledge. You can grow your own knowledge. And I encourage you to tune in every week. TalentSmiths comes to you every week with help for you to do that. So tune in each week for tips to grow your online presence and to grow your emotional intelligence. Learn something new. So let's get some March motivation for the week. This is March and it's all about motivation. And I'm asking you, and I'm curious to know if you have recently experienced failure in your life. How soon? How recent? Because we've all likely experienced failure. When was your most recent failure? That's the question. How long ago? And have you recently experienced it in your life? And do you struggle with the fear of failure? Do you struggle with the fear of failure? Well, TalentSmiths wants to work with you, and we want to specifically help you with some motivation for March. This is March. It is Women's History Month, and we are coming to you, celebrating women's history, and coming to you with the motivation every week this March. This is week 3 in our March motivation series, and I want to help you with overcoming the fear of failure and put some ideas in your brain about that along that regard. So tune in every week to the March motivation. Here's the lineup of events on your screen, and you can see what you may have missed and see what is next to come in the final week ahead. This is Women's History Month. Let's celebrate it. TalentSmiths is celebrating Women's History Month with this merch right here that we've designed. Women can proudly display their she, her, hers merch, March motivation merch, celebrating women's history. You will find the link in the description of this video that will take you to all the products that you see on the screen, in addition to more products that you can proudly purchase and display for yourself or for a woman that you know. To proudly display your pronouns and show your celebration of women, of yourself, if you're a woman, for Women's History Month. And for this March Motivation series, you can tune in every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Central. Wherever you tune in to social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. If you binge watch on YouTube, you definitely want to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all the motivation tips and professional tips that you can binge watch on in a setting. So this is week 3, and we're talking about how to overcome the fear of failure. We have all experienced it, some more so than others. And let's talk about that plan A and that plan B. And specifically, I want to talk to you about 3 steps to overcome the fear of failure. So many of you, myself included, have gone through seasons of life where you may have felt stuck. You may have been afraid to do something because you just felt like you might not be too successful in that thing, whatever it is. So, my perspective of failures comes from experience, and it continues to shift. And I'm seeing failure totally different these days, these years, especially since I've become an entrepreneur. You see, failure totally different. So, in order for you to overcome your fear of failure or overcome recent failures that you might have experienced, you've got to shift your perspective into thinking differently. So, those are steps to becoming more resilient towards that failure right now and towards that future failure, right? Okay. So, one, don't focus on what others think about you. That's a lot of times that's easier said than done, to not focus on what others think about you, because in the world of social media, we see the likes, we see the comments, we see the shares, we see all of that. And to us, that's sometimes an indicator of what others think. It could be, but number one, to get over the fear of failure, don't focus on that. So many people don't really fear failure itself, but you fear what others will think of them when they find out about your failures, right? Shall I say that again? You likely don't fear failure itself, but you fear what others will think after they find out about your failure. So we shouldn't live our lives based on what other people expect us to do, what people think we should do, or what other people want us to do. We need to live our lives based on our own terms. You need to live your life based on your own terms, based on the goals that you have set for yourself, based on your own ambitions that you have for yourself. And so, a lot of times, people that fear failure, they think about, a lot of negative things. And a lot of times they think about some of these thoughts that you see on the screen here. They may be thinking, or you may be thinking, how will people feel about me if I do this? What will people say about me if they see this? What will people think of me if they hear that I've done this? And how will I feel about myself after this failure? Those are common thoughts. If you've had any of those thoughts, just type why in the comments. I'm curious to know. Likely we all have. So living based on what people think about you causes worry, it causes uncertainty, and it causes you to be unsettled. And I'm speaking from past experiences. hmm But I've learned that life is to be lived intentionally. If you've watched any of my videos on Thursday, you will hear me use the word intentionally repeatedly. I am all about doing things with intention. So, taking steps to follow the intentional path that you have set for yourself and not the path that others may have imagined for you or that others expect that you follow. Intentionally your own path, right? Okay. Number two, always believe the best case scenario. A lot of times we don't do that. We think the worst case scenario, but you have a great imagination. You can imagine great things. Let your great imagination imagine the best case scenario instead of the worst case scenario. Don't think the worst is going to happen. Think the best is going to happen. Imagine the best case scenario. Here is an example. So imagine this. You've just received the best news ever. And this is even better than, something that you could have thought of. You couldn't have even imagined it being this good. You've just received that news that was the best ever. And how does that make you feel? Floating, right? A bit floaty, a bit on cloud nine, a bit excited, and a bit, just overjoyed when you think about the best case scenario. So those feelings are true. Those feelings are amazing. When you do think of the best case scenario, when you imagine the best case scenario, those feelings are good. And those feelings are absolutely true and they're possible for you. And you should believe that. You should believe that. I definitely want you to believe that. Number three, believe that failure makes you a more confident person. Failure can make you a more confident person. hmm So ask yourself these questions. Are you a confident person that has never failed? Are you a confident person that has failed quite often? So now you know yourself a little bit better or a lot bit better. Mhm. So take professional risks, take personal risks, develop new relationships, and allow yourself to fail. You will learn more about yourself. You will learn a lot more about who you are as an individual. So much more about who you are. You will discover who you really are. You really discover what you're made of after, during failures, and who you are actually beyond any type of success that you have achieved, and who you are beyond your failures. Who are you beyond your failures? Who are you beyond your success? Hmm? Who are you beyond what the world says that you are? And who are you beyond who you tell yourself you are and what you tell yourself? Who are you beyond that? Hmm? So let's just think about this. The next time you have to make a decision about something and you're hesitant about it or you're afraid about it because you think you might fail, ask yourself, will I really fail at this? And allow yourself to fail forward, because you will learn a little more about you. You will learn a little more about you as you build your own confidence. You're going to learn a lot more. So, failing forward is knowing that failure is a part of progress. It's a part of your progress as you grow. Failing backwards is expecting never to fail again. Failing forward is a part of your progress. You've learned something from that failure, correct? Hopefully so. Failing forward is learning from each mistake. Failing backwards is repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. Failing forward is perseverance. It is pushing through those tough times. Failing backwards is giving up and throwing in the towel. Failing forward is challenging outdated assumptions. Failing backwards is accepting traditions blindly and just being one of the people that says, well, this is the way it's always been done. Why are we going to change it? Failing forward is taking responsibility for your mistakes, while failing backwards is blaming others for your mistakes. Fail forward. You can. You can grow through your failures. Fail forward and learn something out of it. I know you can. Yes, you can. Good luck. You've got this. Tune in next week for more March motivation.